Okay, so you're about to witness me make a phone call. Now, this phone call is literally me inquiring to become mayor. Now, you will notice this video is edited. I've already made the phone call and I've already filmed a segment after the phone call. So this intro doesn't quite fit in, but Ryan for mayor. How do you become mayor of Northampton? Well, let's have a look into what the process actually is then. What can we find out?
Good afternoon. Thank you for holding. You're through to Sharon. How can I help?
Hello, Sharon. I was wondering, what is the process of becoming mayor of Northampton?
Actually, I'm not too sure. I'll have to make that inquiry for you. Okay. Bear with me a second.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you. Hello, it's Chloe here at the Mayor's office. Unfortunately, I'm unavailable to take your call at the moment, so please leave your message after the tone. You may start your message now.
Hello there. I was inquiring on what the process was to become mayor of Northampton. I was wondering if you could assist on this. So, following that previous conversation on the phone I had with... Well, it wasn't really a conversation. It was a short call to the council electoral team, and then they put me through to the mayor's office where you have to leave a voicemail. Now, this is something I've actually done about 3 times now, left voicemails at the mayor's office, and I've got nowhere. So, what I have done is, a friend of mine's also done some digging for me, got me an email address, and I've actually swapped a few emails with the relevant team. And the process stands as this. So to become mayor of Northampton, what I would need to do is become a councillor first. Now, the next councillor elections aren't until May 2019, which is some time away. So as far as I can work out now, the process for that is I need to have someone then to elect me as a candidate. I need someone to second that proposal, and then I need like a team of 8 people then to then help push it forwards. We start a petition, and then I can hopefully then go and run to be a councillor, and then there's a vote May 19, and then we can go from there. So then once elected as a councillor, I then have to find my way of charming them into becoming the deputy mayor. Now, once you're a deputy mayor, then on your following year after being deputy mayor, you then graduate to be the full mayor of Northampton. So it's not an overnight thing. That's the long process. Now, what's actually made me want to go and do this? Well, there's a lot of things. I've wanted to be mayor for a long time. Something fun. And also, on a serious note, there's actually a lot of things I want to try and find a way of influence and change. So from my point of view, I've actually met one of the previous mayors at some networking event the county council held about 4 years ago. And other than that, I've actually had no sort of physical engagement or known of any sort of physical engagement where the mayor's actually been out. I know they have been out and about on bits and bobs, but it's not really been publicised and not really used as a focal figure. Now, I want to try and change and develop that role. So it's a case of the mayor is actually someone of the people. People can actually go up to them and speak to them with a social character. And they also do the sort of formal commitments as well. I have a couple of main agendas I want to try and push. One is transport, because they're constantly building and redeveloping this town. However, the biggest issue with Northampton is the transport infrastructure. I've had this mapped out for years. I've got the plan in place. I actually need to find a way so I can be in a position where I can help implement it. What is here currently doesn't work. They've tried a few bits. It's not going to work. The inner ring roads in the town centre are not designed for the volume of traffic of which they are trying to put through this town. Another thing which has sparked me to come back at this campaign is tourism. It's something that people are trying to push with tourism, and you may have seen there is a video floating around on social media at the moment, which is the tourism board have put out their new video. You might even notice that I've actually commented on that video, and my sort of gut reaction if I see that is Northamptonshire is actually more than some pretty fields of grass and some old buildings. It's got a lot more to offer. They're trying to bring people to the town, but the thing is, they're trying to market it at the wrong audience. You want a more mainstream audience. There's a lot of fun activities that go on in the town. There's lots of things that go on in the town centre, which are very under-publicised, especially to a mass market. There is Silverstone, Rockingham, the Speedway over at Brayfield. There is Santa Pod, and that's just me going from a motoring perspective. There's all those sort of great things that go on. They're all in the county. They're not shouted at. For Christ's sake, we host the Formula One. Shout about that as a venue and find a way of packaging that within a tourism sort of thing. There's lots of great stuff. There's all the great country parks. There's all the sort of cultural walks. There's a lot of redevelopment going on in the town centre, which people do slate the town centre in Northampton, but it is going in the right direction. There's lots of new quirky venues and bits and bobs opening up. And it's actually becoming quite a good place. You could go and look at the Macintosh House. I've actually done that. I did that a few weeks back, and it's an eye-opener. It's quite an interesting one. However, one thing I will say is, if you are going to walk in there at the time of doing the tour is not the 15 minutes you might expect it to be. It's very in-depth. It is, if you're interested in sort of architecture, it is a one worth going to go off and do. The Shoe Museum is currently shut, which is a bit frustrating. So that's down from a tourism point of view. But there's a lot more things that video really needed to showcase about Northampton. We're more than just a field with grass and some houses. One of them didn't even have a roof on. I know I should probably know what it was, but I don't, and I don't really care. It's an old building. That is not why I go out, my generation go somewhere, is to look at an old building. We don't do that. The nightlife in Northampton slipped a little bit. It's coming back in a bit of a diverse way, and over the next 18 months it's going to completely change. That again is another tourism point, is the diversity of nightlife, and which Northampton will soon be able to offer. So that is my sort of outlook of why I want to try and do this. There's lots of positive things that can come out and be changed and focused on within Northampton, and I feel they're not really being done. Big issue is the transport. We all bitch and moan about it constantly. They built a shed to be the new bus station. It doesn't work. I live in the centre and I go wander out into the town centre, and it is hilarious when you go out there. It's just buses everywhere. The drivers get out and they just sit there. They can't go anywhere. They just sit in this massive, great big car park. It is hilarious. So, yeah. So that's my outlook. I've got a plan, which I want to try and find a way of implementing to sort the transport out in this town. If the town's going to survive and actually work as a town centre hub over the next 10 years, then something radically does need to change to try and help bring people in, because the public transport system at the moment doesn't work and people do not want to use it. So there's a lot of benefits from that side of things. I want to try and find an avenue of trying to push forwards. I see this as a method of trying to do that. So step one, I need to try and find out how to become a councillor properly. So I will become a councillor, so it will be Councillor Wakeman. And then going forward, there will be a campaign of Ryan for Mayor. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. A bit of insight on the crazy idea I'm actually trying to go off and do. People think I'm nuts. People think it's hilarious. But in all seriousness, there is actually a genuine focus for this. I say I've worked within the town centre. It's the leisure trade for a long, long time in the town, on and off. And there is huge potential, but it is not marketed and focused on in the right area to develop the right sort of growth, which is what I want to try and concentrate on. So thanks a lot for watching this video. And yeah, Ryan for Mayor.